Hello, welcome back. So you've got a big sale to make. Feeling a little bit nervous, feeling a little bit anxious. There's perhaps a lot of competition, perhaps there's lots of pressure on you to make the sale. Now, ultimately, the result is out of your control. We can't do something more to make someone make a decision. When I was a martial artist performing at the top of my game in world championships, I was a pusher. I worked harder than anyone I knew. I trained my butt off. But it would come to tournament day, and ultimately I knew that if I was to maintain my composure when I was in the ring and perhaps under pressure, no matter how much I wanted to win, it was not really in my control because I was only half of the game. I was competing against an opponent who made their own decisions, their own mistakes, and who was on their own mission. So how does a girl stay composed in a ring with arms and legs flying at her? Or how do you stay composed and chilled out when you've got a big, big ticket that you want to win? It's called The Art of Spiritual Surrender. I was reading a book recently called Let Go and Let Miracles Happen, The Art of Spiritual Surrender by a woman called Kathy Cordova. Now, back in the day when I was a martial artist, surrender was a bad thing. Like we used to say at training all the time, never give up, never surrender, never say die. It's pretty hardcore. But I want to invite you to look at surrender in a different way now. Because the art of spiritual surrender is when you are completely pushed to your edge. There's nothing more that you can physically do. And you're not waving the white flag and giving up. You're essentially allowing what is meant to be to happen. So again, it comes back to subscribing to a belief that empowers you and expands you. What is meant to be will not pass me by. Now, if you hear the word surrender and you think it means literally giving up or waving the white flag or sitting back on the couch and doing nothing, it's actually the opposite. Kathy Cordova says in her book that spiritual surrender is when you're doing everything in your power, but you let go and let the other party do what it needs to do and know that if it's right, it will happen. So what does that look like in a sale? Let's take it from woo-woo land to corporate land. Well, it's the same as manifesting or bringing about anything that you want into your life. Number one, you get super clear on what it is that you want. Number two, you remove anything that you says that you can't have it. If you have limiting beliefs, just cut that out. Cut that out right now. Number three, you do absolutely everything in your power to allow that to happen because you're being who you need to be. In a sales perspective, it looks like caring about that person, stepping into their shoes, or perhaps it's a company, stepping into their shoes and looking at the scenario from their perspective. They perhaps have a really big decision to make that's going to affect their company, perhaps forever, perhaps for a short while, or perhaps for a long while. So doing your very best to just give them so much love to help them make the right decision for them. And then step number four, and perhaps this is the most difficult step in the process, is be willing to surrender to the idea that if it's meant to be, it will be, and if it's not, it's not. And you did everything in your power to make sure that it happens. Now, this requires infinite patience because if it doesn't happen, it's very frustrating. But on the big scale of things, now here's the second belief that I want you to add to this cluster of beliefs that allows you to still feel successful if the sale doesn't go through. And the belief is this: if not now, something better is right around the corner. Meaning if you don't make the huge sale, you just sit back and trust that it's all for the right reasons. There's something better around the corner. Perhaps there's a bigger sale, perhaps there's a more ideal client, or perhaps there's a better deal to be had and it's not meant to be. Now, it requires a little bit of faith in the unseen. However, what it does is bring you right back into the moment from a place of service and ethical sales. And ultimately, when you're coming from that place, you make a lot more money. So I'm going to give you a bit of a challenge. I want to hear from you. If you feel like being brave, I want you to pop a comment down below this video and tell me what is that thing that you really want that you're going to surrender to. Give your all to and just allow it to be what it is. I dare ya. I hope that helped you today. If you have any questions, please just leave them below the video. If you like this video, please share it along with your friends. And if you want even more tips to become fearless, fueled, and free, come on over to hayleycard.tv and sign up for updates. It's free. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.